Thanks, Victor. Today I'll be showing you guys how to make the fruit cake. Originated from ancient Rome, is about 2000 years ago. So what makes these fruit cakes so special during Christmas season? It has a particular spice, soaked fruits to flavor the cake, comes with strong flavor and greater texture. Without further ado, let's begin the procedure. To start off with the butter, dextrose, sugar and salt, emulsifier, and treacle. So for the butter, has to be in a room temperature, so it will be easy to mix with other ingredients. So now we'll be using the paddle to mix the fruit cake. So be sure to lock it for safety. First we'll mix it on slow speed, allows all the ingredients to mix well. So the reason we're using creamy method to mix the fruit cake, to increase the fluffiness of the cake texture. The more fluffy it gets, the better the texture. As for the fruit cake, we don't have to be too fluffy. If too much of fluffiness for the cake, it will be sink. So now we will switch to a second speed. So I stop the machine, then I bring it down and need to scrape. Be sure to scrape bottom of the mixing bowl, so when you mix, it will be even. Okay, so the consistency of the butter has to be light color. If it's too much lighter, your cake will be sink also. So right now, the next step is eggs and vanilla flavor. So before I pour onto the batter, I have to mix the eggs first. So the eggs has to be room temperature. So if the egg is cold, and the batter of the mixer will be very difficult to mix. Therefore, it will be very curdled. So make sure the egg yolk and the egg white has to mix well. So before I add, scrape the bowl first. So here, we will pour a small portion and let it mix. So while pouring the eggs onto the bed, so while mixing with the eggs, you have to let the butter and the eggs incorporate first, then only you add the next part of the eggs. So another tip, if you're using a cold egg, you have to leave it outside for room temperature until it's warm. And for the butter, has to be in room temperature, so it'll be easy to mix. So before you add the next egg, be sure the mixture are completely mixed well. So now the remaining of the egg, and don't forget your vanilla flavor. So after the eggs has been mixed well, scrape first before you add the next ingredients. So we have bread flour, all-purpose flour, baking powder, and cinnamon powder. Just mix well, but do not overmix the batter. If you overmix the batter, after bake, your cake will be in sink. So now after it's mixed well, you remove from the mixing and have to clean the mixing bowl first. Before you mix any ingredients first, your mixed fruit has to be soaked with the orange juice first. In some countries, they use rum to soak their fruits for more than a month, so it will release a rum taste and a better texture. As for the fruits, it will be very juicy. So before you pour the fruits onto the batter, you have to soak it first. So make sure you drain it completely. Do not have any juice inside. So right now, pour everything in. And you just need the spatula to pour in the batter. Once it's poured in, we'll transfer to the loaf tin. So you need 2 loaf tins. The parchment paper has been prepared, so you have to cut the sides depending on the size of your loaf tin. So place it inside and adjust nicely. So each loaf is 450 grams, so you have to measure for 450. Now, before we send to the baking, you need a skewer to even the batter around your loaf tin, and use a spoon to flatten the surface. Last but not least, I will prefer a pecan. Place it at the center for a straight line. So after you've done the decoration, we will now send to the baking. So at home, if you're using a home oven, you need to switch to a mode which has a top and a bottom oven. So we'll bake at 150 Celsius for 1 hour. So after we finish baking, immediately coat with sugar syrup. Coat the top, the side, and don't forget the bottom as well. Because while the cake is still hot, if you coat the syrup right now, it will still absorb. Now immediately transfer to the cling film and quickly wrap it. So after you finish coating the syrup, let it chill for 20 minutes at room temperature. Then after it's fully cooled down, store it inside the chiller for 3 days, only to serve. So there you have it, the fruit cake with soaked fruits with pecan nuts. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.